Welcome to another Founder Wisdom podcast. We have Andrea Fryrear with us today. She's CEO at Agile Sherpas with an S. Smarter marketing teams, faster result. She's also a member of EO and Forbes Business Council member, which is probably why I reached out to you. To Andrea, Oxford educated, which is quite interesting as well. So welcome to the pod. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I run AgileSherpas. We're a professional services organization. We focus on helping marketing teams fix their operational issues. So all the inefficiencies and the waste that is keeping people from putting their campaigns into market as fast as they should. We help kind of go under the hood and tinker with the engine to make it all run faster. I'm a marketer myself, and so I experienced a lot of that waste and pain when I was working in brand side marketing teams and wanted to find a way to help my colleagues work better. So that's sort of the origin of the business, and been doing that for just about 8 years now.
Yeah, tell me a bit more about Death of a Marketer, which is your book. You came up with that one in 2017. So what was the thesis behind that provocative title?
So that was my first book, and it was really kind of a how did we get ourselves into this mess kind of book. So for marketing to be so dysfunctional in a lot of ways, like how did that happen, and where did the modern marketing function and team come from? So it was a really investigative, heavily researched book that looked at where, through advertising agencies and that sort of path to what modern marketing is these days, what happened, and how did we get into the space that we are now. And it's really kind of a call to arms for marketers to work differently if we want to be respected for the work that we do in the 21st century. And I followed it up with Mastering Marketing Agility, which was sort of okay, here's what we should do about all these problems that we are finding ourselves in. And that's sort of the operating model that AgileSherpas runs on.
And what was the big shift around that time? Because, yeah, 2017, I think I was a digital nomad back then. I started my first agency. It was almost 10 years ago. I think it was like the digital transformation back then that we were getting into. And what's the next death of the marketer nowadays? Is it like with AI and everything that we're seeing?
Yeah, it really is. What's happening now is sort of like the digital transformation age on steroids, right? Like the degree of change and the speed at which it's taking place is, I feel like this word is getting overused, but unprecedented. There's really no playbook for what's going on right now, especially in marketing. I think probably behind software development, it's the most disrupted space right now. If whether or not that stays, we'll see. But it's just a need to be more clever in how we work and to figure out ways to be responsive without being frenetic, right? And to stay the course when it's strategically wise to do so, but to also be able to be adaptable when inevitable change comes your way. And I think striking that balance is more critical now for marketing in particular than it's ever been, because there's so many things you could be doing. You really have to focus in on the things that are going to move the needle, or you spend all your time like chasing the next shiny object.
And the lowest hanging fruit, is it to use ChatGPT on a daily basis, do deep researches, integrate it with your tech stack? In my case, would be using tools like Clay, which is a AI powered spreadsheet. What would be like a low hanging fruit for most marketer, or even become more entrepreneurial, right? And like become more of a freelancer than a 9 to 5 worker.
Yeah, I do think the thing that I find has the highest ROI in terms of my time investment, both as a CEO and as a marketer still, is to have a custom GPT that is like my thought partner, and is always helping me stretch my thinking and speed up my ability to arrive at a viable conclusion or a new strategic direction, or to validate something that I kind of have in my head. So like I have a co-CEO that I use every day. And I think everybody should have that kind of digital clone of themselves that obviously has access to the whole universe of information that's out there, and they can be a thought partner, and it's like basically doubling your capacity because you sort of made this clone of yourself that's smarter than you and faster than you. But it's not necessarily about cranking more stuff out, because I think that that's sort of the ick version of AI. Like doing more content isn't necessarily the goal, in my opinion. It's about stretching what you can do and increasing your own capacity and reducing your waste through the use of a custom GPT, the AI capabilities that are inside the tools that you're already using. Like your example of Clay, I think is spot on. I use the Breeze and the other AI things that HubSpot's got built in. So there's all kinds of ways that you can augment what you're doing. But I think that's the way to think about it. It's an augmentation, it's an extension of what we can do, as opposed to like a one-to-one replacement, especially for marketers.
I'm kind of bullish on scaling stuff though, and like overusing platform, because then you get market feedback, and then you'll get some people telling you that, oh, this sounds like it was AI written, and then from there you can modify your approach. I do think you need scale to get quality. I do think you need quantity to get quality. Basically, do you agree with that?
It hasn't been my experience, but I have never done the like true quantity, like tons and tons of content. It's been more of a slow burn for us. Like we have 320 something blog posts that we've used, not to mention hundreds and hundreds of LinkedIn posts and, emails and so forth. But that's been done over 8 years. And so we've sort of arrived at the quantity place, but we've done so very sort of slow and steady, more the tortoise than the hare, I suppose. But that's been, we've never been a huge team. We are bootstrapped. And so it's not ever been the place we put our energy, I guess.
I've done like content scale, and yeah, it ended up pretty bad. Like LinkedIn, I think suspended me at some point. I've done it on the cold outreach side of things, but I think I've got like mostly better. But I'm that kid that needs to keep on trying things and living my failures to understand, right? Like I think that's what got me started into entrepreneurship, and talking about that. Like, why did you get into entrepreneurship 8 years ago? Because I think that's the most important things for people, even before they start using GPT. I think using GPT is pretty much second nature for an entrepreneur, for someone that is more independent minded and that understand that, yeah, this thing is directly coming for your job. So it's like, what pushed you into entrepreneurship, and was it a smooth transition, and was it worth it?
Oh, that's a lot of questions there. Totally worth it. I can start with that one. It's been ridiculously hard for the last 18 years, or 8 years, excuse me. Feels like 18 sometimes. But I wouldn't change it. So absolutely worth it. And I was an accidental entrepreneur. I didn't set out to start a business. When I left my last brand side job, it was because I was getting enough proactive interest in teaching other people to do agile marketing, like, which was sort of the thing that I was pioneering at my current role. And I was talking about it because I was so excited, just like genuinely wanted everyone to know how cool this was. And people were just asking me to help them. So I kind of thought I would be a solopreneur and I'd work for myself. And that was probably better than working for a boss who I didn't really, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I didn't really like having a boss. So I left really kind of intending that to be my path, but there was so much demand that I couldn't handle it all myself. And so I started bringing in freelancers, bringing in full-time employees, and kind of the next thing I knew, I had a team of 15 people, and I was like, oh crap, I think I'm a CEO now, and sort of had to figure out how to do that. And I think it's a very different skill set than starting a business. Like running a business and maintaining its fiscal health and its energy over the better part of a decade now is very different than sort of striking out on your own and trying to figure out how to get your first product to market and land your first client, right? It's just very different. I like it all. I love being an entrepreneur, and like I said, worth it for me, and I'll never go back. But it was, to answer your question directly, probably not smooth at first. Like it was real bumpy, and there's been some very bumpy times as the business has grown and contracted and grown some more, and figuring out how we fit in the world and what the right team composition is. But I'll never go back. I'm unemployable at this point.
Right. And what's the significance of agile? What does that mean to you? Is it just adapting on the fly and trying stuff and learning quickly? Because I feel that word has been overused, especially in like in the 2017s, right? Like I think it was agile programming or something like that.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you? And will this scale for the next couple of decades being agile in your marketing, but in other business sphere?
Yeah, it's a great question because yeah, the original like Agile manifesto for software development was signed in like 2001. So as a concept, this has been around for a long time. And I think that where we see a lot of opportunity and what Agile really means for me and at Agile Sherpas is something a lot more disciplined and rigorous than just responding or adapting, right? That's part of it, but to do so in a way that provides the necessary structure so that you're not a headless chicken and always chasing the next shiny thing, but that you are focused on leveraging activity. So anything you're doing is driving towards your goal, toward your strategic purpose, right? As an individual, as a team, as an organization. To me, that's what Agile allows for is that clarity, that focus, and that alignment. And that's what we try to deliver for our clients is not just speed. Speed is good. We like speed. Everybody needs speed, especially right now. But to have it channeled in the right direction, that's really what Agile means for us.
And what does it mean to be the best Sherpa possible? Because I want to do Everest in the next 5 years. Who knows when there's less people up there? And yeah, Sherpa is someone you pay good amounts of money. They're in good physical shape. They know their shit. They have your life in your hands. They're nice people also psychologically, right? Like they will help you get to the top. So what's your definition of being a good Sherpa marketing wise?
We talk a lot about climbing with someone, right? The Sherpa has been there before and then they go with you. So you get the benefit of all the times they've gone up and down Everest, right? So you get access to all that expertise and knowledge and care, right? They are there to keep you alive and make sure that you make it back to the bottom and so forth. So we really try to have that in our values and the way that we approach work with our clients is we've been there, right? We've done agile in marketing dozens and dozens of times. And so for our clients, they get the benefit of that experience. They get to avoid mistakes. They're not going to fall into a ravine somewhere because we know that it was there and we can help them get around it. We want them to get safely to the end of their journey. And we're really there to help them feel prepared and equipped and able to make that climb. But then we're there with them. We're not just saying, here's a backpack full of stuff. Good luck to you, which I feel like a lot of consultants, especially the big ones, that's how they tend to work with clients is here's a 500 slide PowerPoint. Like, I hope you make it. But we're really there to go along with them and not just wish them well.
And what's interesting about that is that the client knows they're gonna suffer as well, right? Like they're gonna get to the top as well. And I think that's super important. A bunch of clients think that yeah, you're literally gonna carry them to the top, but that's not it. If they want results, they need to have skin in the game as well. If they don't, like it's pretty impossible to get results. Like on my side, when I launch these cold email campaigns, I need their feedback, I need their ideas, I need to know what they've done in the past, right, to make them successful. And it's not like it's going to be effortless. It's going to be 90% easier than if they would do it by their own, but they're still going to suffer.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I mean, you would not expect your actual Sherpa on Everest to put you on their back and carry you to the top. Like, that's not how that relationship is designed to work. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that with clients to say, you wouldn't ask your real Sherpa to carry you to the top of the mountain. We can't do it either. You're going to have to be a participant in this journey. I like that.
Yeah, accountability is everything. Even when they transact money with you, that's financial accountability. That's why we move, right? Like that's why we get to work. It's a lot of people don't understand that, and I think some people they're like, hey, do you do like pay for results or commission only? And it's like, no, do you think you'll really be successful if you don't even drop me as a single drop of water before we start this? Like I already have other opportunities, and at the top, we just understand that yeah, it's fuel in the tank. Money is just like a means of exchange. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think, we are very similar. We don't do any kind of like pay for results or pay for performance because it is such a collaborative partnership and it's very dependent on what our clients do or don't do. Um, but I will say I take very seriously the responsibility when people trust us with their marketing budgets, because especially nowadays, that money is hard won and fought for, right? And they had to probably go to bat to say that operational excellence and efficiency is important enough to not do other activities, right? They've invested in a relationship with us instead of doing something else. So I really want to be a good steward of that money, as we've said, assuming they too are willing to come and be a good partner, right? It's a two-way street. But I take it very seriously when people, are willing to invest their money with us.
Right. And who's your ICP precisely, and why are you the best option for them?
My perfect ICP is a director of marketing operations, because they have this kind of broad perspective across how marketing work gets done across multiple functions. We do work with functional leaders from time to time, but I really love the marketing ops folks. And we are the best option for them because, one, we've been in their seat. Like, we understand modern marketing work. All of our consultants are marketers or have been at one time. And so they're not just a consultant who's never done that job, right? And they're going to come in with respect and perspective on how to navigate internal politics and how to implement change while still driving work forward, right? You can't just stop all the campaigns while you fix your process. Things have to keep moving while you make these improvements. And we get that. We're very practical and pragmatic. And honestly, not to toot our own horn or anything, but nobody in the world has the depth of experience that my team does. You simply cannot get this level of expertise anywhere else. So we're a no-brainer in my completely unbiased opinion.
And any like specific niche industry or yes, vertical that you're targeting?
We tend to deliver really strong results in what we affectionately call laggard industries. So folks whose marketing may not be quite as up to date as others. So financial services, banking, insurance, in some cases,
Manufacturing.
pharmaceuticals and healthcare, like folks that struggle to really move quickly if they're very regulated oftentimes. Those people have a lot of untapped opportunity, and so we can do a lot for them in a short amount of time.
And do they need to have a CRM or?
I would say more important for the work that we do, more important piece of marketing technology would be some kind of project management system, some way to visualize work and collaborate async on it. I think a modern marketing team would struggle to deliver marketing results without a CRM in 2025. So I would hope that they have something in the back end. But the difficult thing for us is we're not tool implementers, right? So if I came to a client who had no CRM but still wanted to work on their processes, we could do that. But I can't fix your CRM problem also, right? So we have partners and things that we'll go to in those cases. But sometimes that's hard when you're really niche like we are, is we can't fix everything, even though maybe it all needs fixing.
And is ChatGPT the future everything platform, even more than an OS? Could be a CRM, could be like a place where you hold all your SOPs. I very much feel that's the vision they're going for, and it became my own CRM and my own OS since about 2 years. I'm always probably 3 to 5 years before my time, but do you feel they could become that?
I think potentially. We've built a custom GPT that we provide to our clients and our subscribers that we call the Sherpa bot, right? And it is like having one of my team members with you 24/7. And so the sorts of things that we would advise our clients on in terms of operational efficiencies and process improvement and things is housed in that GPT. And so over time, right, it would learn and could eventually, not the one that we've built because it's proprietary to us and it's a more generalized one, but I think over time, there's a world in which we build a custom one for every client, to your point, that holds their SOPs, that holds their unique terminology, their unique team structure, and everything about their operations. And it becomes their source of truth for process execution and implementation. There is still the need for cross-team and inter-team collaboration that the current versions of ChatGPT and the other LLMs don't solve for, right? So the ability to work with human teammates as well as AI teammates, right? We're talking agentic stuff now, can't currently be done inside that single platform. You do still need some kind of work management tool to equip people for that collaboration. Whether or not that's permanently true, I certainly am not qualified to say, but right now, you could not do it inside of a single LLM.
Right. And what does your go-to-market look like? Do most of your leads come from your book? Is it SEO? Like, give me a clear portrait of your GTM motion.
We're super inbound driven. I'm a content marketer and a content strategist from way back. And so that's always been at the core of our go-to-market. I will say that's getting harder and harder over the last 18 months or so. And so we've had to diversify, and we're still in the midst of, I'd say, finalizing what that channel mix and that overall new GTM looks like for us. We've tried outbound email, big fat fail for us. Like, it did not click, right? Like we never quite got that wheel turning. So I think
it's hard.
It's real tough. And just a slog, right? Just constant slog. So we're diversifying in terms of channel, like doubling down on LinkedIn a lot this year in terms of paid as well as organic, different types of events, right? So doing LinkedIn lives and roundtables that are invite only, really trying to have better conversations with people, I would say, is where we're really focused, like fewer conversations, but better conversations.
Maybe a podcast.
Maybe a podcast. I am actually working on that right now. I think it's such a good way to just, like we're doing right now, right? Have a chat, have a conversation. You learn about things. Sometimes it's good for you to work together afterward, and everyone got value from that time. So I agree. I think it's still a really good channel.
Yeah, it's insights, it's data. You can monetize it with YouTube AdSense. You can have sponsors. You can do lead gen with it. You can derive SEO. You can derive authority, right? Because people listen and they're like, oh, Charles has this podcast. But yeah, very, very cool what you're doing, Andrea. Very bullish on you and your company. Where can people find out more about you?
So AgileSherpas.com, you can find everything that we do. My bio's there. I'm really active on LinkedIn. I have a weird name, so Andrea Fryrear is not hard to find on LinkedIn or anywhere else. And yeah, we have a ton of content and stuff. So if anybody's keen on the like Agile piece of whatever we talked about, AgileSherpas.com, there's a bunch of free stuff there.
So that was Charles and